Welcome to another thrilling episode of the Inalienable Right Guys. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they're endowed with what are you doing, Mark?
I'm signing an executive order.
As of today, that's about, how many?
The thing.
Okay. The thing. And this is what
executive order.
This is what y'all had, America, the thing. And as of today's date, if I'm not mistaken, there's 42 executive orders been signed. And they're all in the name of another nation, another country. Nothing pro-America, as I gathered. I mean, they put a stack of books on this guy, and he just went to right there. Oh, it was one incident where he couldn't even find it. And when he was finished, he was trying to put his pen back in his coat pocket, and he had to open up like that. He couldn't find the little where it go. Finally, he put it in the pocket. But anyway, we dubbed this one buyer's remorse. You ever bought an expensive, big ticket item and got home and it just wasn't what it was advertised to be? They call that cognitive dissonance. Yeah. It's just, and I'm hearing, even some of the, I would say the low information people that really just antagonizing voting for this man just in spite of, they're voting for what they love, they're voting for what they hate, and they knew that they hate the 45. So some of them been still sitting here waiting for a couple of $1,000. They thought that soon the man get in office, they would check.
Well, he said that. If you go back and look at when he was campaigning there in Georgia for the two senators there in Georgia, he said that basically as soon as he got in office, $2,000 checks was going to go out. Immediately, $2,000 checks was going to go out.
Yeah,
I ain't seen nothing yet. Are you?
Oh no, and again, the individuals that come and expecting that, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. They have such and it ain't even got to the point yet. I mean, when you really think about it, when all these executive orders start unfolding, I think insulin going to be going up, skyrocketing, epiderm, these medications that the elderly depend on. He just rescinding these things. Now, the XL pipeline, which was already one of the most environmental friendly pipelines probably in the history of the world, that was transferring up to 820,000 barrels of oil from one end to the next. Now they got to take big diesels and transfer them from the Middle East and trains and they're supposed to be environmental friendly people. So,
well, that's the thing. I mean, we're still going to get that oil. We're still going to, this oil that would be coming through the pipeline.
Right.
We're still going to get it. But it's the way it's going to get here. Like I say, trains and trucks. And so they're going to use more energy to get it here. The pipeline is so much more efficient. And I don't know about pipelines, but I'm assuming, okay, you would think in this day and age with the technology that we got, they could have like sensors and stuff on these pipes, so that if something happens, they have some kind of breach in these pipelines, that it automatically shuts things off.
Exactly.
You know how much is flowing through there. You got so much. This is just my thinking, and I don't. If somebody out there knows about pipelines and how they work, but I'm just thinking. I know certain things. Where they can judge, how much flow is going through. I would think they would have a system in place where you can tell, okay, we got this much flow going through. If at some point down the line, all of a sudden, you don't have as much as that's flowing in the same pipe, then okay, something's happened, and shut it down.
Yeah, technology.
I would think with the technology we have today that they can do that. And I base that on the idea that when I was a kid, my grandfather worked for a company that basically it was an irrigation company. And so they would monitor water coming out of a river. And I remember back in the day, they had this great big huge dial. And that dial would tell them how many feet of water was going through that irrigation ditch.
That was back in the day.
Yeah, that was a while ago. Anyway, and but it would it would tell them how much water was going through, so they could keep track of how much water was going out. So they'd make sure that the farmers, that's what it was for, going out to the farms, that they would know how much water was going to the farmers. And I know that years later we went back. Instead of having this great big huge, they had a great big huge dial and had one of them little graph paper things, that like see on an earthquake or whatever, the paper that goes back. It was kind of like that. It would go back and it would trace all this stuff. Yeah, went back later. It was all computerized. Right. Had just a little analog or a digital deal up there that read out the feet of water going through there, and it was all digital. That was still probably 20 years ago, So I'm thinking nowadays you would think they would have stuff set up so that
I'm sure that XL pipeline has all of that. And guess what? The Native Americans who the media had painted to be so against this, now they are so upset because they're about to lose major revenue.
Well, some of that, I know that there's some that were happy that the pipeline didn't go through because, supposedly it was on some of their land, stuff like that. But also one of his other orders was the fracking ban. Mm-hmm. And so it banned fracking on some of this land. There's a tribe in Utah, I believe it is. It's Utes, but Ute tribe, that they're upset because it also takes the fracking away from stuff on their tribal lands.
And don't forget New Mexico.
Well, in New Mexico, the same way. Yeah, it's taking money away from them. And they come out and said that. They said, look, this is how we, keep our community going and all this kind of stuff is revenue from oil and gas, and now you're shutting it down. Yeah, and the unions, one of his biggest supporting blacks, now they talking about, losing 20,000 jobs, just shut down, and they like, what's going on? I mean, what did they thought was going on? Really, what did you believe that was going on? The man actually said these things, vocally, verbally, because we don't want to get back into how he became prominent and become our 46th president, but I don't think the man thought he had a chance, a snowball chance. And so he was just, a lot of times, just saying what he going to say because he didn't think it was going to stick, throwing something in the hope it stick to the wall. And these big endorsements now, they are the one having buyer's remorse. They're the ones that's saying, yeah, you're hurting us. Especially, remember when Trump was doing all these executive orders, he called a man a dictator. This dude just went to work on the first day, and really, he ain't really proposed no new legislation. I think they said he had he sit with about 10 Republicans just for optics, and that didn't last long. They wanted, talking about another stimulus bill, in which he wants right at $2 trillion just to pass overnight when they already, with the country already, 26 or 27 trillion in the red, when he all of a sudden just wants to just throw some money out to try to, and we on to him because he's trying to save, some of them blue states that really took a hit when they shut down their economies. And some of the, if there is any conservatives out there, they understand what they're trying to get that money for. They're trying to get that money to go back to some of them other states that was hurting behind the riots, that they would not and defunding police and all these things. So yeah, there's a lot of buyer's remorse out there, brother. There's a lot, but this, I look at it like this. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Oh yeah, these things got to take effect. Well, another year or two, when you see gas at $5.25 a gallon, then it really starts. Yeah. Translating into some sorrow and some hurt. And then how do they? Because the government don't, make the money. He don't go out and work the job like the taxpayer. So that's going to translate into high taxes on everything. Well, I just saw a thing earlier today that said he signed a deal to make capital gains taxes go up from 28% to 43.5% or something like that.
That's a hit there.
And this same article was saying that most like European countries and stuff, theirs is about 20%. Yeah, 19.5%, 20%. And they said the reason that is because they know that people will take their money and especially those little countries in Europe, there's, okay, well, I'll go over here and put my money in over here so you guys, won't take it from me. That's this is a subject that we need to get into too. Is basically a lot of this is what it boils down to is it's a class warfare. This idea that we got all this racial stuff going on and all that. That's just a smokescreen.
Yeah, I agree.
What really is going on is it's the
transfer.
little guys against the big guy.
Yeah,
because the big guy and his buddies, all that stuff. The was killing all the oil and gas jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it funny how Pelosi and her husband put so many $1 million into Tesla? Tesla bought a whole bunch of Tesla stock, and then a day or two later, Biden comes out and signs a deal to make all the federal government cars or whatever electric cars.
That's 2 and 2.
Yeah.
You can put 2 and 2.
So I mean, these people, and we can talk about the things going on with the hedge funds and GameStop. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
Okay, same thing there. It's a little guy against a big guy. These big guys, they take all this stuff, all this money goes right back into their pockets.
Most of my life, it was always one of the one of the brands that they have that they always branded Republicans is they was for the big guy, the rich guy. Well, brother, that is so far from the truth. It's a lot of myths. Don't get me wrong.
Well, and they still believe that too. Because one of my liberal friends said that. I said something to him about Wall Street. Wall Street overwhelmingly voted. The people on Wall Street overwhelmingly voted for Joe Biden.
That's exactly right. And if
And
you
he's
look
like,
at the money
no,
they gave
man,
to his campaign,
it's all Republicans.
no, the money that they gave to his campaign as
Nope.
opposed to giving to Trump, the donations and all that, the dog money, it's like 20 to 1 with Trump.
Yeah.
So yes, Wall Street, and it's all is a transfer of power and money, and what I guess what puzzles me sometimes, Mark, is the greed. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they are insatiable when it comes to that money, and like you were just saying about Tesla. I mean, this is so obvious. That
How is that not insider
inside
trading?
That's what I was just about to say, man.
That same thing.
That is too blatant.
Yeah.
But it's like no one has the courage.
But they get away with it, just
Exactly.
like what I was mentioning a minute ago with the hedge funds and all that. They get away with doing this stuff all the time. All these things, all the things they try to do. Look at we got back into Paris Climate Accord
That's
thing,
right.
and all that. I mean, these guys are making bank. John Kerry flying around in his private jet. I don't know how many houses he owns, but I'm sure it's
Like he can't save the planet.
more than half a dozen. And he's talking about saving the planet. They're just they're just putting money in their pockets.
And the media, just goes right along with it. That's
Yep.
one of the main reasons they get
Yeah.
along. Because if we everyday, like you were saying about the little man, we everyday little man, taxpayers, hardworking, God-fearing men that love country, and we can see this just like just like a picture on the wall. It's so obvious, and the media sees it too. But I believe that they are all inside trading right along with them. They're big conglomerates. They're just big conglomerates that they're getting all the information. Getting the fat of the hog and just throwing scraps at the. So it's actually like it's actually the government versus the people is what it's coming down to. Those in the high powers like that. It's amazing how they're getting away with it, like you said.
Yeah, it just like I said, it just shows you that there's more of a class warfare than anything else. And man, like I said, that example this week of the GameStop thing this last week and a half or so, that just and that's opening people's eyes. I think just like you're talking about all these other things, all these executive orders and the buyer's remorse and all that. I'm hoping, and you can see it, but I'm hoping it's opening more people's eyes to what these people are doing. That that this is the swamp. They're all part of the swamp. They're all swamp creatures, and Trump was trying to drain the swamp. And man, the more levels he dug out, the worse it got, deeper it got, the more you realized how deep it was. And
I'm gonna consume him. It's this incestuous crony capitalism that they have too. I mean, they if you look at what Biden's administration if this is not an extension of Obama's administration, I don't know what is.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
I mean, he going back and getting all these failures, all these
Oh, yeah.
Harvard
Strengthening
intellectual-
Obamacare.
Yeah, bringing back the individual mandates that hurt the little man. And I'm talking about his appointees so far. I don't think that guy had original thought in his head, man. How you go back and get these people that?
Yeah, he ain't picking them anyway. Like I say, I mean, these orders that he's signing. I don't know if he knows what he's signing half the time anyway. They just hand it to him. Here, sign this.
Yeah.
Here, sign this. Here, sign this. You know.
Every American gonna eat soup and every man gonna eat soup and salad for the rest for the next 4 years. You know? Okay. You know, it's crazy, and that's why it's got to be buyer's remorse. In the long run, right now, like I say, you know, they may look at us like we just trying to thrust something up on them, but 42 executive orders, man, and
job killing orders,
job killing,
and little man killing orders.
Look, what's his name, Trudeau, out of Canada, he agreed with nothing with Trump, but he said they didn't give him a chance to even present a case to
right,
And then we look over on the southern border, and here we come, boy. There's 20,000, 30,000 of them trying to break in because he done stopped the construction. But we already had to pay a lot of stuff already paid for. The money allotted, the metal, the steel. He just shut it off like it just, like it's going out of style. So now, and the immigration, the deportation, just put a moratorium. Just shut it down.
Well, here's another one.
Okay.
The article said Joe Biden to divert $30 billion in aid Trump had left for farmers to climate change. So there's another one. Taking money that has been set aside for our farmers, to help them because of the pandemic and plandemic and all that, all that. So many, and you may have seen, where they're pouring milk out and all this stuff, having to do all these things. So Trump had money had $30 billion set aside for the farmers. Well, Joe Biden just taking it and giving it to the climate change fight.
And a big portion of that going overseas.
Oh, probably, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'll go to the,
and he talking about build back better?
Well, I told you what I feel about that. So, people, here's the thing. All right. When you have something, you make America great, right? When you have something you want to make great again, you take something. Let's say you got a house, and it's run down, and you want to fix it up.
Because at one time that house was great.
Was great, yeah. Brand new house, whatever. But 30, 40 years down the road, it's getting a little dilapidated. Roofs, need some repair. Floors need repair. You want to make it great again.
Okay.
Well, you take that house and you go through and you fix all those things and you build it up and you make it great again. Now, if you build back better, what's that mean? It means you have to destroy that house and start over. You build back. You have to destroy it to build it. And to me, that's exactly what they're doing. They're taking America and they're going to destroy it so they can build it in the image that they want it to be.
Brilliant deduction, Watson. You are so correct, man. I never looked at it from that angle, but that's exactly what you got to tear it down from the foundation.
Yeah.
And you got to bring in, and that means doing away with Constitution and everything. Yeah. When it all you're gonna build back better. So you finna build another America.
You have to destroy it first.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's a pretty good point.
Yeah.
Pretty good point. I like that.
Yeah, I want to make America great again. I don't want to have to just have it destroyed and build back whatever they
And again,
some of the silliness.
Yeah, the people that he was putting in there, like one of the first things he did when he fired the Surgeon General, I think it was, black man.
Mm-hmm.
Come in there,
first day on the job.
And then you seen who we got in there now? Some man, woman.
Oh yeah, that's the Secretary of Health and Human Services, whatever.
And you see all the people around her, they look like they all in bad health. They gonna tell us about our health. But anyway, like you said, build back better, meaning that you have to destroy and build from scratch. Yeah. And what you're trying to say is you finna do something. We already $26 trillion, $27 trillion in debt, and you finna build something back better after you destroy it. But what I was getting at is, what about the rugged individualism? Those who built these great structures, these 8 wonders of the world, and all these dug these canals out and canyons and made America, a beacon that's sitting up on the hill. Who can you think of one person in that administration that can lay a brick? Yeah, man, come on, man.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
No. Yeah.
Oh, because they got too many issues, man.
No.
The minute you call them say, hey, man, give me that brick, or hey, woman, give me that. You can't say that. So how we gonna communicate? That's Babylon.
Yeah.
You can't even, these people babble. You can't even call them by their original names or the original, the way they was born. So how they gonna build back better? If they, I just pray to God they don't tear nothing down. Because once they start tearing it down, it's gonna take some conservatives to save the country.
Yeah. Well, you heard Booty Judge up there talking about transportation and all that. How basically insinuating that our roads and infrastructure were racist.
That is, how you win with that? How you win with that type of logic? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, infrastructure. Our roads are racist. Did you know that?
I mean, what?
I mean, basically, he was. I don't know how he, how he meant what he said, but that's basically the way it sounded. It's like you're saying, okay, our roads and stuff are racist. I guess potholes are racist.
Can't tar no roads no more,
Yeah.
Man, sometimes we get caught up, man. I be lost for words. But I like Mark's illustration of Build Back Better.
It is.
You have to destroy.
I thought about that a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, that is perfectly true. If you want to make America great, you're going to take America and you just build on it and make it, fix it up, and fix the problems or whatever. But if you want to build back better, that means you've got to destroy it. And then and then build it the way you want it. And that goes back to talking years ago. They used to talk about Obama being a community organizer, and they said most of the time a community organizer, same thing. They got to destroy the community so they can organize it the way they want it. Same difference.
Yeah, and that's why they're talking about they got to reprogram conservatives. And get us on board or something. We grown men.
What's that? Re-education.
Yeah. Oh man, how did that work out? You got a pattern that don't work. That don't work. That's the road to nowhere.
It's almost 100 years old now. Yeah, that pattern.
Yeah. So the buyer's remorse. If they talking about build back better, you think you got some buyer's remorse when they start trying to make the roads less racist.
Yeah.
What they gonna do? Name Shaka Zulu freeway and
and then they're gonna flood it with Chinese electric cars.
Yeah. Oh yeah, China just sitting back, just chomping at the bits. Yeah, we build back better, and every brick got made in China out there.
All right.
Yeah, we just want you to know that this buyer remorse is real, and I understand it. But when you come up to us, and it's not like when we was talking about voting for particular policies and particular reasons of why we love America and we love the country. It wasn't all about no hating. It wasn't about. We just had some insight that making America great again.
That's right.
Like Mark said,
not destroying it.
Renovating and repairing some issues and things that need repairing and continue to go forward. But that build back better, you got to tear down, and you got to break down, and you got to destroy. And that we ain't got enough time for that.
Exactly. All right.